All right, my name is Donovan. I'm a second year science and business student, and aside from school, I like to play basketball, band, and volleyball. So, to summarize some of my skills that I believe do make me effective entrepreneur is growing up, I had a lot of different experiences through work and through school, through my extracurriculars, and I always found the idea of being your own boss very appealing because you can contribute what you believe in. There's no one there to control you, and you can also work your own hours. So the first skill I'd like to touch upon is my ability to communicate. So I think this skill is very important because communication is the root of a lot of industries, and it's also very important as an entrepreneur because you have to talk to your customers, your stakeholders, and different people in your team. So one experience I'd like to highlight was during my time in co-op at H&R Block. I was a tax professional where clients would come in, they'd bring their documents, explain their situation, and then I would have to do their tax return and then explain the return throughout in the process. So this skill really, worked on my ability to communicate with different people because there's all different types of clients, younger people, older people. And I learned that when you communicate, you have to make sure that whoever you're talking to is receptive of your information. So the tone, the speed that you're going at, the language that you're going at has to be effective for the other person to understand. And through that experience, I learned, with an older person, I might have to explain at a slower pace. With a younger person, I might have to give them some more metaphors. It just really depended on the person and the situation. The next skill I'd like to highlight is that I am a self-starter. So I've always taken pride in being someone that does projects or takes opportunities that are not required of me, but can provide me an opportunity to learn or experience something new. So something I'd like to talk about for this skill is during high school, I had the opportunity to write a book. And although it wasn't asked of me or really needed, something I needed to do, I wanted to take the experience so I can work on my written communication, have something I could be proud of, and also just work on my skills to market myself and my personal brand. So I wrote that book. It's sold in 3 countries and it's listed on Amazon. And it was a really great experience for me to help grow my ability to communicate and also just create my own product. The next skill I'd like to highlight is my skill as an innovator. So I always try and look for things in ways that can be improved upon or opportunities for a new solution, which is I will talk about later in my product. But I always think I have I always keep an eye out for these things and make sure that I'm paying attention and always looking for ways to improve, and also something I apply to my own life. The last skill I'd like to talk about is my willingness to take risk. So being an entrepreneur, you're never really sure when you're going to make the money, if it's going to pay off, or if it's even going to make it. And I understand that there is that risk, but the reward is could be very, very potent. So being willing to take risk means to me is just weighing the pros and cons of a decision. And although if something may not work out, if the benefits outweigh the costs, I'm always willing to make that decision. So one experience I want to touch upon is my personal investing, where I got into the market earlier this year. And although my investments went down, I learned how to budget my savings, how to invest, and what different products to invest in. And moving forward, I think it will pay off. And moving forward to my strengths and my weaknesses, there's some strengths I have is I'm a confident leader. So growing up playing basketball, being a part of a band, being in a group setting, I'm always willing to be the person that steps up and leads by example. And I also want to be the one that if someone's feeling down, I'm giving them some motivation, giving them a pat on the back to get them back up for the benefit of the team. If there's tasks that no one wants to do, which I understand, maybe in a group work, no one wants to do that project, I am willing to take on those roles if it means the team can succeed. Another skill I would like to highlight is my ability to adapt and adapt to my role and environment. So growing up, I went to school in Taiwan and Canada, and I've had a lot of different jobs in different industries, and I've learned to adapt effectively to succeed in all those positions. So I've learned to, be attentive and listen to the people around you and learn from their experiences, putting your ego aside, and also just being willing to give yourself some time and be patient with yourself, but also try your best to learn throughout. And the product, one weakness I'd like to highlight is I am a bit more introverted. So sometimes I can find talking to people or networking with people to be a bit intimidating. And it's definitely something I want to work on. And I want to put myself in more situations where I can network and improve on this skill. Just being able to converse with people that I'm not already familiar with is something I definitely think I can work on. So the business idea that I have is called UNeed. The goal of this business is to provide students with information on universities that is not very easily accessible, and also give them a first-hand testimonials from students in the schools. So the idea is students from current schools will post their testimonials. So they'll talk about things such as the culture of the school, the workload, and also the costs that are not associated with tuition. And students that are coming into university or transferring schools can access that information. Or if they'd like to, we have a feature called UConnect, which is our unique selling point, where the students can pay a small fee to either have a video call or a text chat with students in the position so they can get firsthand insight on the school. So this issue is pretty significant, and a lot of students do end up transferring, and there are over 1.5 million students in Canada that are currently in post-secondary. So there is a lot of people that this product could help, and it shows that a lot of people are pursuing post-secondary, which I think is going to continue for the near future. The way this platform will generate revenue is ideally we will have, like social media platforms, will run ads so we can charge for ad revenue, and we'll also charge a small fee to have that UConnect feature where students can connect with students or alumni. I think this business aligns with my skills because it's something that you need to take initiative in. So I always like to take initiative. I like to lead, and I've also worked in education in the past. So I think I do have a strong background for this project. And I also think that since it's a digital product and I don't have to have, stock or pay for costs associated with a physical product, I can work on it with my own pace, and it's also affordable as a university student. I also think it also aligns with my skills to adapt because I've never been creating a website or working in an industry where I'm the boss. So I think having strong adapting skills will help ease my transition into this role and ensure that I can adapt effectively and succeed in this project. Some skills I might need to improve on for this project is I think I could learn some technical skills such as coding so I can, build a website or build a platform for these students. And I also, like I mentioned, want to work on my skills as someone that networks, because I understand the importance of networking. It provides a lot of opportunities when businesses expand and you need to consult, lawyers, marketing teams, etc. Having strong connections with people in those industries can provide you valuable insight and build connections to people that could be a part of my team or help me out in my project. And I also think networking is important because I have to collect, testimonials from people that would use the product, so talk to students. So just being more confident to go outside my comfort zone and talk to the students would really help me out with this project. But overall, I'm really excited to take this course, and I do think that my business idea you need is very feasible as a part-time project during my university career.